Yeah, so again we're back with a blank screen. And to start this, I'm going to start with presets. Go to presets. Give me some sort of navbar thing here we got going. Here maybe. Yeah, I like it. Moving on. Actually, I think I'm just gonna change the background color there. Go to styles and give me like I have like a little yellow thing going. So I'm going to go with that. Next up, let's add a hero, just like that. So I'm going to say this time for my hero, I want to change the layout. Go to styles and give me like a center layout, and maybe change the content a little bit to that. Yeah, and also change the background to match the title there. So the background to styles, background, that. And I'm going to push it above just a little bit, so that to give it like that spacing thing there. How are we looking? We are looking fine, fine. I don't like the pink, so I'm going to go to styles, to buttons, and then just turn that off, the theme color, and then it should just revert back to our colors. Also for this side, I don't want these rounded corners. I want it to be a bit more fancy, so I'm going to start with removing rounded corners from buttons. So let's go to buttons. Let me see here, rounded corners, none. So as you can see now, they're much fancier. I also want to give it like this title font here, something different. Let's go with quirky. Yeah. And since we're going with that rounded corners for buttons, we can also do the same thing for the navbar here and say sort of these rounded corners here. Give me like none on the corner radius. And there we go. I think we're good. Actually, I think one more thing here. Actually, yeah, I think we can just make this like a video. So, content. Give me a play button. And also, I want to do something interesting with this. So, instead of like this background covering all the way to the bottom here, I'm going to just have it fade from like yellow to white. And as luck would have it, we have a fade background thing here. You can just say that, and yeah, we are fading, guys. We are fading. So instead of fading to straight to white, I want it to fade to some different color here. I have like a yellow thing going in my theme. Yellow gray, yellowish gray. Yeah, and I'll just send that back, so the navbar comes back on top, and then maybe just for that we can just tell it to get fixed while scrolling. Let's move on. So for the next thing, I want to add some sort of like a mission statement or something like that. Content. Actually, let's go back to like there and say give me like a section text. Move it down here. Styles, give that section text the same background as the there, and you can see that it fades nicely into that background. I can give it something like a mission statement here and move on. I don't think title cases are popular anymore. Styling, make the heading large, and also make it quirky, similar to the title there. And subheading like there. Go back to content. So the subheading is doing something interesting you might want to think of. Maybe not. Okay, let's just increase the width there. So the subheading width is again, you can just say 2000 and it will cap you 1500. I think for this maybe you want to actually something like 900, and that is too little, maybe 1000. Yeah, I think like there's something going on with the content here. Yeah, I think the content had a new line. So to add a new line, you can just add a slash n anywhere here. Did add a new lines in here somewhere in the text. So let's just remove that. And I think we are good. I think we are good with this section. I think maybe I would just push it up a little bit and move it to the background. Not that far back. Maybe somewhere around there. Yeah, and I'm also noticing this thing, number here is not popping, so I'm just going to say something like, you know what, for styles, let's make that button pop. Instead of that, let's maybe try to look at a pink. So you can see now it's pink here. And also want like some sort of shadow around that image. So let's see the image. Shadow. Yeah, there's a nice little shadow there. Yeah, send it back to back again and then we can move on. Yeah, there's an issue here, so I'm just going to push this text to the back to that. Yeah, and hopefully now I can push this text. Yeah, something like that, something like that. Let's move on. So the next section, maybe we can add here are some stories, seeing as this is the mothers. So let's show stories of mothers we've helped before. To do that, let's actually just duplicate the section text. Styles, remove the background we had before. Change that transparent. I want to change the layout to horizontal now, so that the title is on the left and the content is on the right. It's horizontal. Yeah, so the last thing, the next thing is change the content there and say stories that inspire us. Okay, it's just a 4-letter word. It's a 4-letter word. I'm clearly not the biggest copywriter in the world. I want to add like a button here. So something like say buttons, to add a button there, and then say see all stories. Okay, like I said before, the trick, if you watch the other video, you can see we talked about you can just come and say reversed on buttons, and it will change between if you have only one button, it will change between a field and outline. So the trick here is if I had 2 buttons here, maybe all voices. So the trick there is that you, if you say reversed, the field will go on the right and the left side. So if there's only one button, if you have one of them, you can just say reverse to get the other version. If you wanted like the outline, you can just use the one that was there before. Now let's add the actual stories. So let's go here and say, give me like a grid again. Pull it down to there. And say, you know what, this time I only want 3 rows instead of like 5. Yeah, and I think something here with the button, we are having it rounded, so let's just change that to none on the corner radius. There we go. For the grid here, I also want to remove like the rounded corners, so let's see, corner radius to none. Yeah, and I can just say, you know what, I want 4 items on my data, actually 6. And yeah, let's overlay the text on top of the image to be interesting. So you can just come here and say overlay text, And yeah, I don't want these stories to be like a lot, so I'm just going to remove the title and stay with the description itself. And also to make it more prominent, I can just come here and say, give me like a very large text there. As you can see, the grid item is actually, whenever you have overlay text, it's doing the trick of adding you some a screen so that the text is readable. Anyway, so let's just grab some stories here, like some pictures for mothers. Okay, let's see. Yeah, maybe this. What else? Yeah, that. Yeah. So welcome to the future. I have actually updated the images here. Uh, so I'm just going to push this grid up, just so we have it's a little bit tighter to that. Let's see. We are looking good. Let's move on. So the next thing is obviously FAQs. If you're an organization, an NGO, if you want to prove that you're actually doing what you say you're doing. So I'm just going to grab some FAQs here. Yeah, I'm actually not going to edit this a lot. Okay, maybe I can just do a little edit here and say instead of like plus and minus, let's use chevrons instead. Chevron up and chevron down. So the expand icon, let's use chevron. And yeah, so you can see also something interesting happening here is Fern also uses some sort of magical, some sort of markdown editing, not full editing markdown, but rather just a bit. So if you look at the FAQs here and go to content, you'll notice the subtitle, the subheading there is using like stars and underscores to mean that bold and underline. And the same thing is happening for this. So yeah, maybe something you should know. You can try if you want some sort of link in your content, just put the lines, and if you want to be bold, put some stars around it. I'm going to move on. So once you've answered the FAQs, it's time to grab that, tell them to open the checkbook. And to do that, you're going to bring in a CTA. So that, grab a CTA. push it all the way down here. So yeah, I'm going to change the content a little bit. Ready to take part in providing hope and joy to young mothers, to a young mother near you. Here. So you can turn this to make a donation and partner with us. And there we go. I think the last thing that is left for this is to change the radius size to radii. So go to styles and say rounded corners, none. Do you see now there is no rounded corners? Let's see how it's looking. It's looking. And finally the footer. So this time we just start with like a regular footer. So go instead of like a preset. So just go to button here. I mean footer here. Click a footer there. Tell it to come all the way to the bottom. Like I said, I normally like cut off some of these footers somewhere there. And yeah, I think we can remove the border. We don't really need it for this one. Actually, let's change the logo too. We're using like rear blocks here, so change it to that. And also I think we can have like just 3 menu items. I don't think that many is necessary, so let's just change the items to, so if you go back to footer content, we can say, you know what, turn off menu 5. Actually, let's turn on menu 3 here. There we go. And let's change our content here to like nightingales because mothers doesn't make any sense, but yeah, something like that. And maybe like they change the light the message here to hello at nightingales, the rogue. Okay, yeah, finally let's bring in that yellowish thing we had going on here. Yeah, so styles, and say the background here, grab that yellowish thing, and yeah, I think we could be done. Let's cover some of the footer there. Let's see how it looks. It looks fine. I just think there's a spacing thing here. Let's move it a little bit there. Maybe one more. Yeah, and that should do it for the footer. I'm going to cap it a little bit like that. And also I noticed the navbar was not happening, so I'm just going to bring it all the way up again. Yeah, and hopefully when we do this, we have a navbar going there, scrolls. Yeah, I think that is that, except for these buttons. They have like rounded corners, and we don't want rounded corners for this one, so I'm just going to make it buttons, no corner radius. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm happy with it. If you decide maybe you don't want to show one of these, you can just say come here to content. I think it's styles, not that, sorry, here. You can say expanded questions. You can say 1, 2, and 4. They will expand the first one. To expand the first one, the second one, and the fourth. But I don't know, I kind of like the 2 and 4 thing that was going on before. Yeah, and that is that. I think this is looking good. You can definitely now tweak it from here and do something more interesting. But yeah, thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one.